Was
And
legendary.
I've seen many zipper busts on her on stage. But God bless her. You know, where there is genius in one area of your shit.
Justice in showbiz isn't always written in the glow of stage lights. In the world of entertainment, where songs can drown out the truth and fame can cover up wrongs. Who dares to stand up and expose those once hailed as legends? Very few. But Chaka Khan did just that. She didn't choose silence in the face of power. She didn't compromise with anyone. She boldly called out 11 R&B artists who made her blood boil. For Chaka, talent is no excuse for tolerating hypocrisy, selfishness, violence, or deceit. A true artist doesn't just need to sing well, they must respect others, especially women, colleagues, and the next generation. The stories I'm about to share will lay bare the truth about these music industry icons who crossed moral lines Chaka couldn't forgive. Brace yourself, because these revelations might forever change how you see them. 11. Aretha Franklin, the R&B icon with shocking backstage behavior. Aretha Franklin is a name that commands reverence worldwide when it comes to soul and R&B. She's the irreplaceable queen with hits like Respect, Think, and You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. No one can deny Aretha's impact on American music, countless Grammy Awards, a spot in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and an undeniable cultural icon. But offstage, behind that powerful voice, were actions that sparked controversy and irreparable cracks in her personal life. It all began one June night in 1967 at the Apollo Theater, the sacred ground for black artists. Aretha Franklin took the stage in a glittering gown, exuding absolute confidence. What the audience didn't know was that she was battling severe laryngitis, barely able to sing, instead of canceling the show like most artists would. Aretha did the unthinkable. She played a pre-recorded track of Respect and lip-synced as if everything was normal. The crowd roared with applause. But backstage, her band was stunned and furious. To them, this wasn't just deception, it was a blatant betrayal of music itself. Many in her crew quit the tour afterward, unable to stomach the dishonesty from an icon they once idolized. It didn't stop there. In 1972, as a new wave of young R&B artists like Chaka Khan and Rufus rose with hits like Tell Me Something Good, Aretha felt threatened. Instead of supporting the next generation, she allegedly pressured Grammy organizers to favor her for R&B categories, sidelining Rufus from nominations. Later, in an interview with Jet magazine, she publicly declared that young artists like Chaka were still green and needed to learn more to reach her level. The comment sparked a firestorm in the industry, leaving Chaka, who was fighting to establish herself, feeling publicly humiliated. Insiders began to see Aretha's true colors, not just a queen, but someone willing to crush newcomers to protect her throne. The biggest scandal, though, was personal. In 1965, while touring in Chicago, Aretha, then married to Ted White, was secretly involved with a saxophonist in her band. The affair was exposed by the press months later, leading to a flurry of articles detailing tour drama, a love triangle, and heated backstage arguments. Ted White, both her husband and manager, was livid at the betrayal. Their marriage spiraled into chaos, ending in a notorious divorce in 1969 from a model artist. Aretha Franklin became a figure of moral scrutiny. Fans couldn't believe an icon like her, who projected strength and independence for black women on stage, could be embroiled in such a blatant affair. This explains why Chaka Khan couldn't stand Aretha. To Chaka. Lip-syncing at the Apollo was a stab in the back to fans and true artistry. Aretha's belittling comments afterward only deepened Chaka's resentment, as she felt disrespected. And learning of Aretha's affair, especially since Chaka herself had endured a marriage wrecked by infidelity, made her see Aretha as the epitome of hypocrisy, a tarnished icon behind a dazzling facade. 10. Etta James, the scandalous soul, queen with a past of addiction and violence. Etta James is known worldwide as a legendary voice in American soul and blues. Her timeless hit, At Last, became an anthem for the ages. Her raw, fiery voice not only touched hearts, but influenced generations of artists. Etta won multiple Grammys, earned a place in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and remains an irreplaceable soul icon. But behind the glamour was a chaotic life filled with actions that left industry insiders shaking their heads. In 1963, at the peak of her career, Etta spiraled into addiction, not just casually, but deeply. She lied, manipulated, and even betrayed those closest to her to feed her drug habit during a recording session in Los Angeles while the band was on a break. Etta quietly rifled through the guitarist's wallet, a friend who'd worked with her for 3 years, and stole $500. When caught, she didn't explain or apologize, she just stayed silent. From that moment, the band turned cold. No one wanted to sit at her table or leave their bags within her reach. Etta was completely isolated. The industry knew, but stayed quiet because she was still too big a star. The truth was buried. But backstage, her name became synonymous with untrustworthy. 3 years later, in 1966, Etta caused another uproar in her personal life. She was living with Artis Mills, her husband of many years. But their relationship was volatile during a tour stop in Memphis. A heated argument erupted at their hotel. In a rage, suspecting Artis of cheating, Etta hurled a table lamp at his face. Luckily, it only caused minor injuries. But the incident gave tabloids a field day. They dug into her unstable past, branding her a deranged singer unable to control her behavior. Her team spent a month quelling the backlash. But Etta's image was never the same. Major TV shows started avoiding her, as if that weren't enough. In 1974, Etta stirred chaos again at the famed Muscle Shoals studio. She was working on a major project alongside young artists, including Chaka Khan, a rising R&B star. Chaka was collaborating closely with a renowned producer who could catapult her to A-list status. But Etta, sensing an opportunity, began showing up at the studio in tight dresses, heavy makeup, and overly friendly with the producer. She'd sit close to him in the control room, whispering things no one could hear. Within weeks, Chaka's discussions stalled. Her name vanished from the project, and the deal went to Etta. It was clear as day Chaka had been backstabbed by a mentor she once admired. To Chaka Khan, Etta James wasn't just a troubled artist, she embodied the worst of the music industry, having fought her own battles with addiction in the 1980s. Chaka couldn't forgive Etta for stealing money to fuel her drug habit. But what stung most was Etta snatching Chaka's opportunity through unethical tactics. To Chaka, Etta James no longer deserved her respect. 9. Tina Turner, the rock icon with a past of plagiarism, sabotaging peers, and abandoning her kids. Starting in R&B, Tina Turner was crowned the Queen of Rock and Roll worldwide. She broke free from Ike Turner to build a stellar solo career, reaching stardom with timeless hits like What's Love Got to Do With It, Private Dancer, and The Best. Her powerful voice, fiery style, and captivating performances made her a living legend, with multiple Grammys and millions of records sold globally. Tina was untouchable. But behind the spotlight was a woman who stirred controversy. In 1968, at the height of her success with Ike Turner, Tina was embroiled in a notorious plagiarism scandal. Their album that year featured a cover of the blues song Black Coffee. But instead of crediting the original writer, a little-known black musician from Mississippi, his name was erased from the credits. Rumors swirled that Ike deliberately omitted the credit to pocket all profits. And Tina stayed silent, actively promoting the song as their own. The music community was outraged, accusing the duo of stealing from struggling artists with no voice. Tina, as the lead vocalist, never clarified or apologized. Her silence lingered for years, leaving a stain many couldn't overlook. 8 years later, in 1976, Tina finally left Ike after years of abuse. But what divided public opinion wasn't her departure. It was how she left her children behind. Craig and Ronnie, who needed their mother most, were handed off to relatives as Tina moved to Europe to restart her life. She dove into work, touring and recording while building a global name. Meanwhile, her kids grew up without her presence, Some say she only contacted them by phone or letter for years, even missing birthdays and holidays. The press dubbed her Hollywood's coldest mother, but Tina never responded, as if success mattered more than family ties. In 1984, amidst her triumphant comeback with What's Love Got to Do with It?, Tina sparked another controversy. At a major awards show in Los Angeles, she and Chaka Khan, both thriving in pop rock, were set to perform. Initially, Chaka was slated to close, but at the last minute, Tina requested a switch in the lineup, citing technical reasons. The result, Chaka went first, while Tina closed with dazzling lights and a grand production, stealing the spotlight. Chaka's performance was overshadowed, nearly forgotten by the audience. Industry insiders gossiped for weeks, some saying Tina didn't want to be compared, others claiming she was reclaiming her place after years of struggle. Either way, it strained the relationship between the two artists. To Chaka Khan, Tina wasn't just a distant mother, but an unfair colleague who played dirty. As a devoted mother and advocate for women, Chaka felt deeply offended. From then on, she kept her distance, never speaking of Tina with respect. To Chaka, Tina Turner was a symbol of ruthlessness cloaked in glamour. 8. Gladys Knight, the two-faced soul empress who bribed, hid a same-sex affair, and sabotaged the next generation. Gladys Knight, lead singer of Gladys Knight and the Pips, was hailed as the Empress of Soul, an icon of American black music, with hits like Midnight Train to Georgia and Neither One of Us. She dominated charts and won major awards, including Grammys. Her warm, emotive voice touched millions. But behind her polished demeanor was a string of actions that left the industry stunned. In 1973, Gladys and the Pips were suspected of paying $10,000 to secure the Best R&B Vocal Group award, edging out Rufus, the rising band fronted by a dynamic Chaka Khan. The deal allegedly happened backstage, with an organizer reportedly taking cash to adjust the results. It nearly went unnoticed until a technician overheard the exchange and leaked it to the press. The news spread like wildfire, creating a tense atmosphere backstage. Artists grew wary of Gladys, whispering that she'd do anything to stay on top, unwilling to let the new generation surpass her. Though Gladys never admitted it, her eerie silence during the scandal only fueled suspicions. 2 years later, in 1975, another controversy arose, this time personal. Sources in Atlanta claimed Gladys had a 2-year same-sex relationship with a backup singer in her group. They met secretly in hotels, keeping it under wraps. But a hotel clerk spilled the story to the press, and it exploded across headlines. In the 1970s, when society was harshly judgmental of the LGBTQ+ community, this was deemed unacceptable for someone of Gladys's public stature. She refused to comment, neither confirming nor denying it. Her evasion led many to believe she was protecting her image, even at the cost of denying herself and someone she'd been close to for years. By 1980, as younger artists rose, Gladys stirred outrage again with an act of overreach. During a TV music show, she refused to share performance time fairly. The plan was for Chaka Khan to perform first, followed by Gladys Knight and the Pips. But Gladys demanded Chaka's slot be cut short to give her more time, arguing her act needed more weight. Chaka, still struggling to cement her place, was pushed to the sidelines. Industry peers were disappointed, seeing Gladys as trying to suppress the next generation to stay on top. The backlash was fierce, but Gladys stayed silent, as if nothing happened. For Chaka Khan, Gladys's actions crossed a line. As someone who fought for fairness and supported young artists, Chaka couldn't stomach Gladys buying awards or sidelining her on TV. From then on, Chaka avoided Gladys, viewing her as a symbol of hypocrisy and injustice in the music world. 7. Patti LaBelle, the soul diva who played dirty, gambled recklessly, and wrecked others' lives. Patti LaBelle, one of the most powerful divas in soul music, was a force to be reckoned with in American showbiz. With a voice that rang like a bell and a stage presence brimming with energy, she left her mark with hits like Lady Marmalade, If Only You Knew, and New Attitude. She captivated millions globally and was praised as one of R&B's greatest voices. But her commanding persona hid dark secrets few dared to mention. In 1976, while LaBelle was thriving in Europe, Patti shocked the industry with an affair with her married manager, who had a family back home. It started during studio sessions and escalated on tour, with the two often sharing hotels and appearing overly close after shows. The rumors spread fast, devastating the manager's family and shaking Patti's credibility. The media dug into her private life, and music partners grew cautious, less eager to sign deals with her. But Patti ignored the criticism, living life on her terms despite the public's scrutiny. In 1978, during a live radio interview in New York, Patti caused a stir by bluntly criticizing Chaka Khan, who had just released her debut solo album, On Air. Patti said Chaka's voice was still raw and couldn't compare to true divas like Aretha Franklin or herself. The remarks spread like wildfire, hitting Chaka like a slap to her pride as she struggled to establish herself post-Rufus. The industry split into camps, and fans debated endlessly. Some said Patti was putting Chaka in her place, unwilling to be outshone by a newcomer. Others called her arrogant, unable to embrace diverse musical styles. Whatever the reason, Chaka was the one hurt. In 1982, another issue surfaced. Patti was spotted multiple times at Las Vegas casinos, notably Caesar's Palace, in one night. She blew $50,000 at the blackjack table. The loss not only strained her finances, but forced her to cancel a planned recording project. Producers, already weary of her personal scandals, began to pull away, unwilling to invest in an artist who seemed out of control. Patti even borrowed money to cover gambling debts, sometimes using her influence to secure artistic funding that was really for settling casino tabs. Chaka Khan couldn't swallow what Patti had done. The 1978 radio jab felt like public humiliation to Chaka, who'd faced enough industry prejudice. As someone scarred by family struggles, Chaka also couldn't forgive Patti's affair, seeing it as a betrayal of family values. To Chaka, Patti wasn't just a dirty player on stage, but a morally compromised figure in life. 6. Ruth Brown, the R&B queen who attacked colleagues, stole ideas, and crushed the next generation. Ruth Brown was crowned the Queen of Atlantic Records, laying the foundation for R&B's rise in the 1950s. Her bold voice, daring performances, and hits like Teardrops from My Eyes and Mama. He Treats Your Daughter Mean made her a major star. She not only shaped American music, but helped Atlantic become a home for black artists in its early days. Yet, beyond the applause, lights, and awards, Ruth revealed a fierce and selfish side. In 1955, as Atlantic's top earner, Ruth pressured the label's leadership. Insiders say she threatened to leave if they continued promoting younger artists. She demanded all marketing campaigns focus solely on her singles, no exceptions, fearing the loss of their golden goose. Executives complied. As a result, many new artists, including some who later became Chaka Khan's friends, were sidelined from the start. They got no budget, no magazine covers, and delayed releases, all so Ruth could hog the spotlight. This lingered in the industry for years, with some talents never getting a second chance. Ruth's threat stifled countless futures. By 1960, things spiraled further. During rehearsals for a major tour, Ruth lost her temper when a backup singer went off key on Mama. He Treats Your Daughter Mean. In a fit of rage, she slapped the young singer across the face in front of the entire band. The room froze. No one dared speak, fearing her wrath. The incident spread quietly among artists, earning Ruth a reputation as hot-tempered, violent, and uncontrollable. Some musicians refused to work with her, unable to handle her erratic behavior. In 1970, Ruth joined a Broadway musical, a chance for a big comeback. But instead of shining through her talent, she caused an uproar. A young artist, a close friend of Chaka Khan, shared creative staging ideas with Ruth during preparations. When the show premiered, those ideas were front and center, but Ruth took full credit. No acknowledgement, no thanks. The theft outraged young artists, who saw Ruth as two-faced, pretending to listen while stealing others' work behind their backs. Chaka Khan never forgot this. She viewed Ruth as a symbol of a generation unwilling to make room, ready to trample others to stay on top. To Chaka, Ruth was not only selfish but unethical, having fought for her own recording deals and stage time. Chaka couldn't accept Ruth manipulating Atlantic to suppress younger artists, as someone who valued colleagues and friends. Chaka was furious at Ruth for stealing her friends' ideas, seeing it as dishonest and unworthy of the R&B Queen title. 5. LaVern Baker, the rock and roll goddess who stole songs, hogged stage time, and abandoned her family. LaVern Baker was one of the most commanding voices in early rock and roll, with explosive hits like Tweedledee Dee and Jim Dandy. She became a generational icon, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and recognized as one of the first black women to break racial barriers in American music. But behind the dazzling stages and roaring crowds was a person willing to cross any line deception, betrayal to stay on top. In 1956, riding high on her hit singles, LaVern released a new song, Love Me Right. It soared up the charts, seen as a career-defining breakthrough, months later. Rumors swirled in Chicago's R&B scene that the song was a direct copy of an uncredited demo by a lesser-known local songwriter. Furious, the songwriter sued Atlantic Records. The label scrambled, settling quietly with a hefty payout. The truth was swept under the rug. But the industry didn't forget. LaVern never apologized or admitted fault, and many whispered she knowingly stole it. Banking on the original artist's lack of power. In 1960, at a major Detroit concert, LaVern caused backstage chaos. Scheduled for a 30-minute set, she stretched it to 45 minutes, demanding encores. This cut into the time of other performers, including a young group waiting for their big break. Some crew members said LaVern knew she was over time but pushed on, unwilling to be outshone. The move left the backstage atmosphere tense, with young artists furious at being forced off stage before they could shine, an organizer later admitted. That night, LaVern was the only star. Everyone else was drowned out. By the late 1960s, LaVern's career slowed, with no major deals. She left the U.S. for the Philippines, performing in a nightclub. What disappointed many was her complete disconnection from her nieces and nephews, who relied on her emotionally and financially. Family members said LaVern abandoned them, vanishing when they needed her and ignoring their struggles. She prioritized the stage, applause, and lights over family. Most heartbreakingly, she never returned to explain. Chaka Khan couldn't stomach this, valuing honesty in music. She despised LaVern's plagiarism, seeing it as an unethical theft of opportunity. As a devoted mother who supported her family, Chaka also couldn't forgive LaVern's neglect of her kin, especially knowing their hardships. And LaVern's hogging of stage time hit Chaka personally, as someone who'd fought for her own spotlight early on, feeling the sting on behalf of the sidelined artists. 4. Dinah Washington, the jazz queen with a chaotic personal life, alcoholism, affairs, and crushing young artists' dreams. Dinah Washington was hailed as the Queen of the Blues, a peerless voice in jazz and beyond, from jazz stages to mesmerizing ballads. She ruled the charts and was among the first black artists to break racial barriers in American music, with iconic hits and numerous awards. Dinah was a force in showbiz, but beneath it all was an unstable, reckless figure whose controversies left many shaking their heads. In 1958, at a Harlem performance, everything unraveled due to a drunken outburst. Dinah took the stage unsteady, eyes bloodshot, clutching a glass of liquor. The band was rattled, the audience hushed, but she didn't care. Mid-song, she stopped, pointed at a spectator, and yelled, accusing them of mocking her. No one knew what sparked it. But the press pounced, splashing headlines like Dinah Washington drunkenly berates audience within days. She lost a major cosmetics ad deal aimed at black women. Some said she could have been a universal icon, but her inability to quit alcohol squandered it. That wasn't all. in 1955 during her fourth marriage to musician Eddie Chamblee. Dinah began a secret affair with her band's pianist. It seemed discreet until the pianist's wife stormed a New York studio, sparking a public confrontation filled with accusations and tears. The scandal rocked the press, and Eddie quietly left Dinah soon after. She married 7 times but never held on to happiness. People began to wonder, could Dinah truly love anyone, or was she only skilled at control and conquest? In 1960, at her career's peak, Dinah used her clout to manipulate label release schedules. She demanded her recordings take priority, delaying many young artists' debuts. One promising singer, a friend of Chaka Khan's, trained for 6 months for a single, only to see it shelved indefinitely when Dinah intervened. Her career crumbled before it began. This wasn't a one-off, it was Dinah's pattern. She refused to let anyone outshine her, crushing others' dreams to stay center stage. Chaka Khan never forgave her, having battled addiction herself. Chaka was disappointed by Dinah's lack of control with alcohol, leading to unprofessional outbursts, sensitive to marriage issues from her own divorce. Chaka scorned Dinah's repeated affairs as disrespectful to family values, and as someone who'd been suppressed early in her career. Chaka couldn't forgive Dinah for blocking young artists, especially when it hurt her friend. 3. Ray Charles, the blind genius who disrupted studios with flirtations and manipulated the music industry. Ray Charles was a phenomenon, a living legend who reshaped soul music with his distinctive voice, instinctive piano playing, and seamless blend of jazz, blues, and gospel. He broke racial barriers in music with dozens of hits, multiple Grammys, and a career spanning over half a century. But behind the glory was a chaotic life, impulsive decisions, and a trail of stains he couldn't erase. From the 1950s, Ray was hooked on drugs not casually, but heavily. Heroin followed him everywhere, from stages to backstage. In 1961, at a Boston hotel, police raided his room and found heroin in his luggage, shaking the entertainment world. No one could believe the genius was destroying himself. Though arrested, he relapsed, using during tours. Recording sessions were delayed because he showed up late or too high to sing. His band grew exhausted. Producers fumed. But no one spoke out. He was Ray Charles, the man who could sell out theaters in a single night. In 1965, while working on major projects, Ray started throwing his weight around. He demanded priority for everything: studio time, budgets. Labels were forced to schedule him first, even if others had booked months in advance. Among those pushed out was a promising young group later tied to Chaka Khan. They lost funding and studio access. Their big break gone because Ray wanted an extra demo. This wasn't a one-time thing, it was his habit, always demanding center stage, no matter who got hurt. By 1973, things got messier. During a Los Angeles recording session, Ray hit on a young female singer who worked with Chaka in Rufus. She was inexperienced but talented, and Chaka saw her as a little sister, guiding and protecting her. But Ray, with his fame and charm, quickly seduced her into a brief fling. The fallout was devastating. She lost focus, abandoned the project, and left the group. Chaka's working relationship was shattered, all because of Ray's reckless impulse. Chaka Khan never forgot. To her, Ray was no longer a musical giant, but a symbol of everything she fought against: addiction, unfairness, and power abuse. He broke trust and trampled others' chances for his own gain. She despised how he let drugs control him and couldn't forgive him for using his influence to derail young artists, like her friend, who just wanted a shot at the stage. 2. Sam Cooke, the two-faced soul angel, a top star and a backstage betrayer. Sam Cooke was crowned the King of Soul, an irreplaceable icon who laid the groundwork for modern black music. With his smooth voice, handsome looks, and captivating stage presence, he was a generation's idol. Hits like "You Send Me," "A Change Is Gonna Come," and "Cupid" skyrocketed him to fame. But beneath his ambition was a selfish streak, willing to step on others to get what he wanted. From the 1950s, as his star rose, Sam was secretly unfaithful, despite marrying Barbara Campbell, his childhood sweetheart. He had affairs with fans on every tour. He didn't hide it, sometimes treating it as a perk of fame. In 1962, things spiraled. Hours before a big Chicago show, he was spotted leaving a hotel with a young woman. Whispers spread, and Barbara, furious, confronted him backstage. The tension erupted, with crew members stepping in. But Sam carried on as if nothing happened. Few know that his breakout hit, "You Send Me" in 1957 sparked controversy. At an earlier Los Angeles audition, an unrecognized songwriter shared the song's initial melody with Sam. When the official release dropped, there was no credit or thanks. Sam took all the fame and fortune, leaving the songwriter in obscurity. That songwriter later became Chaka Khan's close friend, and this betrayal was something Chaka could never forgive. The height of Sam's selfishness came in 1963 at an Atlanta concert. He insisted on performing nearly the entire show, leaving just minutes for others. Among them was a young group Chaka later worked with. They were pushed aside, exiting quietly. For Sam, fame trumped fairness or teamwork. These weren't one-offs, they defined him. A talented artist with no moral boundaries. Chaka Khan didn't hide her contempt for Sam Cooke. Having endured divorce and navigated a cutthroat industry, she couldn't accept his betrayal of his wife or disrespect for women. She was livid that her friend's idea was stolen. And she loathed how Sam robbed young artists of stage time, just as she'd been treated early in her career. 1. Marvin Gaye, the genius undone by drugs, violence, and uncontrollable womanizing. Marvin Gaye was an irreplaceable soul icon. From Ain't No Mountain High Enough to What's Going On, he redefined Motown and left a lasting mark on millions. His honeyed voice, seductive style, and socially conscious music made him the brightest star in soul. But behind the halo was a deeply troubled man, addicted, violent, and unstable. Marvin Gaye's life was a chain of unforgivable mistakes he couldn't control. After the massive success of What's Going On, Marvin slid into decline. By the mid-1970s, he was heavily dependent on cocaine. In 1976, during a Detroit recording session, he showed up high, unable to focus, missing beats, forgetting lyrics, and rambling incoherently. Hours of work were wasted, and the band had to start over. One of them, a friend of Chaka Khan, later recounted the chaos, unforgettable to all who witnessed it. No one dared confront him. He was still the king of the studio. But internally, everyone felt disrespected as he disregarded their efforts for a drug-fueled haze. 2 years later. In 1978, Marvin shocked again in Los Angeles at a major music event. He openly flirted with a dancer who worked with Chaka in Rufus. He did it brazenly, right in front of Chaka during a conversation with their manager. The group was stunned, embarrassed, and pressured. The dancer quit the project days later. Marvin's actions didn't just disrupt a team, they cost Chaka a valued collaborator. Some said he was flexing his power, a man who had to possess everything, even others' people. Worse still was an incident at Marvin's Detroit home in 1973, living with Anna Gordy, sister of Motown's founder. Their relationship was already strained by jealousy and Marvin's wild lifestyle. One night, in a heated argument, Marvin shoved Anna against a wall. The incident stayed out of the press, but Anna confided in an industry friend, and the rumor spread like wildfire through Motown, though Marvin denied it. Insiders knew he was violent, not just in his music, but in his personal life. Chaka Khan never concealed her disgust for Marvin Gaye. Having fought addiction herself, she couldn't accept someone wasting their career on drugs. She saw his public flirting with her dancer as a direct insult, and as someone who'd faced marriage struggles. Chaka despised Marvin's domestic violence, viewing it as cowardly and unworthy of his celebrated status. In a world where truth is often buried under glamour, Chaka Khan dared to speak what many feared to face. What do you think of the 11 artists Chaka despises most? Were any names surprising? Are there actions you can't stomach? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear your real reactions. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to catch more jaw-dropping secrets behind the stage lights we'll reveal next.